The mountain air bit at Dr. Maya Vega's cheeks as she hiked along the perimeter of her research station. The isolation of the Rocky Mountain facility suited her, 3 months into her fellowship studying high-altitude plant adaptations, and she had finally found her rhythm. No colleagues questioning her methods, no department politics, just science and solitude. Until the sky split open above her. The object cut through the clouds like a knife, trailing smoke and debris. Maya froze, watching it arc across the sky before disappearing behind the western ridge with a distant, ground-shaking impact. Her scientific mind immediately catalogued possibilities: meteorite, satellite debris, experimental aircraft. Whatever it was, it hadn't landed far from her position. "This is exactly how every bad sci-fi movie starts," she muttered, already changing direction toward the impact site. Curiosity overrode caution, a trait her mother always warned would be her downfall. The crash had carved a path through the pine forest, leaving scorched earth and shattered trees. Maya followed the destruction to a small clearing where steam rose from a metallic object half buried in the ground. It wasn't a meteorite or satellite. The sleek, iridescent craft had intentional design, curves that suggested purpose rather than random cosmic formation. A spacecraft. There was no other explanation. A panel on its side had been wrenched open, revealing a dark interior. Maya approached cautiously, pulling her scarf over her mouth against the acrid smell. "Hello?" she called, immediately feeling foolish. "Is anyone?" A sound interrupted her, a wet, labored breathing from inside the craft. Heart hammering against her ribs, Maya activated her phone's flashlight and directed it into the opening. The beam caught reflective eyes, then shifted to reveal a form slumped against the far wall of the cabin. Humanoid, but decidedly not human. Its skin had a bluish-silver sheen with patterns like circuitry running beneath. Dark fluid, blood, seeped from a wound in its side. The being's eyes widened at the light, pupils contracting to slits. It made a guttural sound, raising a 6-fingered hand defensively. "I'm not going to hurt you," Maya said, keeping her voice calm despite her racing pulse. "I'm a doctor, a healer." She pointed to herself. "Doctor. Help." The being clutched its side, more of the dark fluid oozing between its fingers. It spoke, a series of clicks and hums that Maya couldn't begin to interpret. "You're hurt," she said, pointing to the wound. "I can help." She mimed bandaging an arm. The alien seemed to hesitate, then slowly extended its hand toward her, revealing an object like a small silver disc. It pressed something on its surface, and the disc projected symbols into the air between them. "A translator?" Maya whispered, amazed. The being spoke again, and after a delay, the projected symbols shifted, rearranged, and formed English words: "Royal vessel. Damaged. Help required." "Royal?" Maya asked. "Are you important where you come from?" The symbols changed again: Monarch Thorn. 7th Dynasty. "Your royalty," Maya breathed. "And you're bleeding out in front of me." Medical training kicked in, overriding her shock. "I need to get you to my research station." "Can you walk?" Thorn attempted to stand but collapsed with a sound that needed no translation. Pain transcended species barriers. Maya made a quick decision. "I'll come back with supplies." Don't go anywhere." She pointed firmly at the ground, then to herself. "I'll return. Help coming." As she turned to head back to her station, Thorn's voice stopped her. The translator flickered. "Why help dangerous unknown?" Maya considered the question. "Because you need it," she finally said. "And where I come from, that's enough reason." Dr. Maya Vega's research station transformed overnight. The small laboratory, once dedicated to alpine botany, now served as an alien medical ward. Thorn lay on her examination table, silver blue skin glistening under the fluorescent lights. Your physiology is remarkable, Maya murmured, analyzing the blood sample under her microscope. Thorn's cells contained structures she'd never seen in any terrestrial organism. The translation disc projected Thorn's response, "Your primitive methods cannot heal me." Maya's eyebrow arched. Primitive? I've stabilized your wound and prevented infection. For the primitive, I'd say that's pretty good. Thorn's facial ridges rippled, a gesture Maya had begun to recognize as amusement. Apologies. My species values directness. So does mine, sometimes. Maya applied a fresh bandage to Thorn's side. The wound was healing, but slower than she'd like. Your cellular regeneration is remarkable, but it's fighting something in our atmosphere. Nitrogen levels higher here. Inhibits healing. Maya nodded, making notes. I can create a modified oxygen environment. It might help. A series of rapid clicks came from Thorn, laughter, she realized. You surprise me, Dr. Maya. Few species adapt their thinking so quickly. The compliment warmed her, though she tried not to show it. Over the past 3 days, she'd learned more about xenobiology than she'd thought possible. She'd also caught herself watching Thorn's graceful movements with increasing interest. The royal monarch's body was lean and strong, with bioluminescent patterns that shifted with emotion. When their hands touched during treatments, Maya felt an electric current that wasn't entirely biological. A sharp beeping interrupted her thoughts, the perimeter alarm. Maya rushed to the security monitor, stomach dropping at the sight of 2 black SUVs approaching the station's access road. Government, she whispered. Her mind raced through possibilities, none good. First contact protocols would mean Thorn would disappear into some classified facility, becoming a research subject rather than a patient. Danger? Thorn had risen to standing, impressively tall despite the injury. Yes. We have to leave. Maya grabbed emergency supplies and her research tablet. My people's authorities, they won't understand. They'll take you. Thorn's eyes narrowed. I am not property to be claimed. No, you're not. Maya met that alien gaze. And I won't let them try. As they slipped out the back entrance, Maya made a decision that would change both their lives forever. I know somewhere safe. Somewhere they won't look for us. Thorn's hand closed around hers, warm and solid. The translator wasn't needed for the meaning to be clear, trust. Outside, snow had begun to fall, covering their tracks as they disappeared into the wilderness. The cabin sat nestled among ancient pines, 20 miles from the nearest neighbor. Maya's grandfather had built it decades ago as a hunting retreat, though Maya had always used it for stargazing. Now, it served as their hideout. Home sweet home, she said, watching Thorn duck through the doorway. At least until we figure out what's next. The translator flickered, your kind would risk punishment to protect me? Not all of my kind. Just me. Maya lit the wood stove, warmth slowly filling the single-room structure. Days melted into a routine. Maya continued treating Thorn's wound, which healed rapidly in the modified atmosphere she'd created using equipment smuggled from her lab. Meanwhile, Thorn taught her about the stars, real knowledge, not the theoretical physics in Earth's textbooks. Your son is young, Thorn explained one night as they sat on the porch, the Milky Way splashed across the sky. My world orbits an ancient star, near death. Is that why you came here? Maya asked. A hesitation. Partly. Their conversations deepened as language barriers diminished. The translator adapted to their speech patterns, requiring fewer repetitions. Maya learned that Thorn species, the Lasari, communicated through both sound and bioluminescence, the patterns on their skin conveying emotional context. So when your shoulders glow purple, you're amused? Maya asked, reaching out instinctively to touch the pattern. Thorn caught her hand, held it against the warm skin. Not amusement. Attraction. The air between them charged with unspoken possibility. Maya's heart thundered in her chest. Oh. That night, physical differences became discoveries rather than barriers. Thorn's touch was gentle despite alien strength, exploring Maya with reverent curiosity. When their bodies finally joined, Maya felt a connection transcending species, a communion of atoms formed in the same stellar nurseries billions of years ago. Afterward, as Maya lay in Thorn's arms, the monarch revealed the truth. My people are dying. A pathogen attacks our nervous system. I came seeking compatible biology for cure. Maya lifted her head. You came to Earth specifically? Your species has unique immunological responses. Records from previous observation indicated potential compatibility. The revelation should have felt like betrayal, being sought for biological resources, but instead, Maya felt her scientific mind racing with possibilities. Show me everything you know about this pathogen, she said. I think I can help. Maya's tablet glowed in the cabin's darkness as she reviewed her findings again. 3 weeks of working with Thorn's biological samples had yielded promising results, though the work was hampered by limited equipment. The protein structure of your pathogen resembles a terrestrial prion disease, she explained, showing Thorn the molecular models. But your immune system lacks the receptor that would recognize it. Thorn leaned close, the scent of ozone and something like cinnamon emanating from their skin. Can this be corrected? I think so. Maya swiped to another screen. My research on high-altitude plant adaptations focused on protein folding under stress. The same principles apply to your pathogen. Their work took on urgent purpose. By day, they refined potential treatments using Maya's botanical compounds and Thorn's biological knowledge. By night, they sought comfort in each other's arms, their intimacy deepening with each passing day. Maya found herself falling for the alien monarch, not just physically, but intellectually and emotionally. Thorn's perspective spanned centuries, yet retained childlike wonder at simple earth pleasures, snowfall, birdsong, the taste of honey. Your planet contains such beauty among its dangers, Thorn remarked as they watched a sunset paint the mountains gold. Much like your people, I imagine. Maya leaned against the warm, solid presence beside her. Will you tell me more about them? Your role as monarch? Thorn's patterns shifted to deep blue, contemplation mixed with something like homesickness. Lissari monarchy serves as genetic repository. My body carries ancestral memories, historical knowledge. You're a living library, Maya breathed. And decision maker. My people await my return with solution or succession protocol activates. The reality of their situation hit Maya anew. This wasn't just about healing one alien, it was about saving an entire civilization. And eventually, Thorn would have to leave. That night, their lovemaking carried an edge of desperation. Maya memorized every curve and plane of Thorn's body, the way those alien eyes dilated in pleasure, the harmonic hum that vibrated through both their bodies at climax. The breakthrough came at dawn. Maya bolt upright, an idea crystallizing. Enzymatic reconfiguration, she whispered, then louder, Thorn, wake up. I know how to make it work. The final piece fell into place, a delivery mechanism using modified plant compounds that could cross Lissari cellular membranes. By midday, their prototype cure was complete. Thorn held the vial of iridescent liquid. You have given my people life. We did it together, Maya corrected. Thorn's expression turned solemn. My ship repairs are sufficient for return journey. Maya felt her heart constrict. When? 3 Earth days. 72 hours to decide the rest of her life. Maya stood at the repaired spacecraft, snow crunching beneath her boots. Dawn painted the mountains pink while stars still glimmered overhead, a perfect metaphor for her divided heart. The past 3 days had been filled with preparations and difficult conversations. Thorn had explained what life among the Lasari would mean for a human, the physical modifications required, the cultural adjustments, the centuries of lifespan she would gain through their medical technology. It's a lot to process, Maya had admitted. Choice must be yours, Thorn had responded. Monarchy cannot command heart. Now, the moment of decision had arrived. Thorn emerged from the cabin carrying the last container of synthesized cure, movements fluid and strong, fully healed under Maya's care. The government will never stop looking for you, for us, if I stay, Maya said. Your departure will be detected no matter what. Thorn set down the container. Come with me. 2 simple words that meant leaving everything, her career, her planet, her species. What would I be to your people? Maya asked. A curiosity? An experiment? Savior. Advisor. Thorn stepped closer, those alien fingers tracing her cheek. Consort to monarch, if you desire. Maya closed her eyes, leaning into the touch. And if it doesn't work? If I can't adapt? Then I return you home, carrying regret through centuries. The honesty was refreshing, no false promises, no pressure. Just truth and choice. Maya opened her backpack, revealing the essentials she'd packed, her research, medical supplies, photos of family, seeds from her alpine specimens. I made my decision last night. Thorn's patterns flared bright with emotion as Maya continued, science is about exploration. Discovery. I'd never forgive myself for not taking this leap. Their embrace sealed the decision, 2 bodies from different worlds finding perfect alignment. The ship's interior hummed as systems activated. Through the viewport, Earth grew smaller, a blue marble hanging in the void. Maya felt a pang of sadness mixed with exhilaration. Nervous? She asked as Thorn programmed coordinates. Lasari do not experience nervousness, came the response, but the flickering patterns on Thorn's skin betrayed otherwise. Maya laughed, reaching for her lover's hand. Your skin says differently. Maybe I should teach a class on human emotions when we arrive. You will teach much more. My people will gain wisdom from your perspective. As the ship accelerated toward distant stars, Maya thought of the incredible journey ahead, not just across space, but across the boundaries of species and cultures. She would be the first human to live among the Lasari, to learn their ways, to share Earth's knowledge. And she would do it alongside Thorn, whose royal touch had healed more than just physical wounds. It had created a bridge between worlds. Next stop, Your Majesty? Maya asked, gazing at the star-filled expanse before them. Thorn's answer needed no translation, home. The vessel surged forward, carrying them toward new horizons neither could have imagined alone.